Hello everyone, welcome to your favorite channel, that is Instant Microbiology and Biotechnology. Today we will discuss about the disease that is not seen today, but this virus has killed more than 300 million people when this virus attacked to our world. Basically, this deadly virus arises in Northeast Africa, and it attacked to our bone marrow cells, our skin cells, our spleen cells, and lymph nodes. It is the last major smallpox outbreak that has been seen in United States, happened in 1947. The smallpox virus is the variola virus and is named for the small blister that looks like a lesion that form all over an infected person's skin. Historians believe it is originated at least 3,000 years ago in Northeast Africa. Generally, it caused fever, rashes, death, and nearly 30% of people died when the people had this disease. In 20th century, it has estimated that smallpox killed at least 300 million people around the world. By 2000, the scientists have developed a practice of variolation. What is that? That time, the scientist takes the material from the survivor postulate, scrap, and give another person to develop the immunity by scratching the scab into their arm or crossing or inhaling it. The theory behind is, if a person has been infected previously and still he or she is a survivor, that means the survivor has developed certain antibodies against that virus. So the material, if will be provided to a normal person, and if that normal person is going to infect or is going to expose, or the smallpox virus is coming towards that normal person, that person already have the immunity to fight against the smallpox virus. But through this, many people get cured, but it arises very unpleasant symptoms. The data says still 1 to 2% people is shown the death rate. Okay. In the meantime, in 1796, an English doctor, he developed the first vaccine in the history, that is smallpox vaccine. He used the material from the cattle, means from the cow who is infected with cowpox virus. As this cowpox virus belongs to the same family of the smallpox virus, so he thought, if I will give the material from the cow to the person, and the cow, if infected with cowpox and has been recovered, that material may develop the antibodies against the smallpox. So behind this theory, he started his work, and this process becomes success. That process is known as vaccination, and from there the era of vaccine has begun. And how he named this as a vaccination? Because the Latin name of cow is vacca. Here is the gentleman, the doctor, named as Edward Jenner, 1749 to 1823. He invented the vaccine for the smallpox on 1796. And from there, he named as or he is famous as the artificial immunity, father of artificial immunity. Now come to the theory, how he developed the vaccine. Here you can see the smallpox virus, here you can see the cowpox virus. What he did, the cow who had developed the cowpox virus and become the survivor, he took the material from the cow and infect to the man. Then he again infect that man with the smallpox virus, And he observed that the man had developed the immunity against the smallpox virus. The red dot are the smallpox and the blue dot are the cowpox, as I have designated here the smallpox as in red color and the cowpox as a blue color. So his theory worked with this person. Now the same thing he tried with the many people. Then he have taken the phrase cowpox and infected or injected with the normal people. And the survey says the injection created fevers for few days. But the person never get infected with the smallpox. Hence, it always act as a vaccine. Means the smallpox always act as a vaccine for the smallpox. Sorry, the cowpox always act as a vaccine for the smallpox. Now come to the structure of this variola virus. As we all know, the smallpox disease creating virus is the variola virus, which is the largest virus, and the length is 230 nanometer to 300 nanometer. It is brick shape and it contains double stranded DNA bound to the protein and lipid complex. Here you can see the DNA genome, and that is bound to the protein and lipid complex, the protein and lipid complex. Basically, the DNA is shaped as a dumbbell shape. In the center of the virus, it is present. The dumbbell shaped nucleotide surrounded with two layers of membrane. You can see from here, it is surrounded with two layers of membrane, this one and this one. Another palisade layer, this is the palisade layer made up of protein. This also protects the core that is surrounded by the core membrane. Here you can see the core, this is the core membrane, and this is the palisade layer. Outside this palisade layer, there are two other lateral bodies. These are the two lateral bodies. These contain important enzymes as storage tank that virus needs to replicate. If a virus needs to replicate, obviously it needs the genetic material, it needs enzymes, and also these lateral bodies act as a storage tank. And apart from that, it also helps to release the enzymes when the virus need it or ready for them to use it. Okay. The virus also has an envelope. You can see this is the envelope, an outer membrane made up of host lipids, and the envelope is made up of three layers. First layer is the inner membrane. You can see this is the inner membrane, and second one is the outer membrane, and third one is the surface tubules. These are the tubules you can see over here in the picture. The virus generally resides or assembled or present inside the inclusion body. Why? Because the virus can use this host bodies, the host inclusion bodies, as its own outer membrane. This virus is very smart to use all the things to use from the host. Now the question is how it transmits. Generally, it transmitted by the droplets of infected person through coughing or sneezing, or coughing or sneezing. Like if the droplets is full of virus, that you can call virus laden fluids, or by handling the articles infected by the patient. This smallpox virus is completely dead today or eradicated from the world. Smallpox vaccine contains vaccinia closely related to variola. It gives protection by humoral and cell-mediated immunity. Replication of the variola virus. You can see this is the structure of tentative structure of variola virus. As I have said before, it transmitted it through physical transmission or the droplets. Basically, it targets the bone marrow cells, skin cells, etc. that I have discussed before. But it attacks or it replicates by attacking the respiratory cells or the immune cells and the blood vessels. How? Generally, it targets to the respiratory system. As you can see from here, it attacks to the lobules that is present over here, and through this it try to replicate, and when it try to replicate, ultimately this replication leads to contraction of this alveoli, and the debris flows. Debris means that virus that act as a debris for the respiratory system, that decrease the surfactant, and that leads to lots of problem like degradation of the alveoli. Then it leads to ultimately the blood vessels. The infection leads to the blood vessels, and it also kills the immune cells, so that because the immune system, our immune cells that is present, that try to eradicate this virus. But if this virus will hijack the respiratory system, the blood vessels, and the immune system, obviously our body cannot respond to eradicate that virus. So basically this virus attack in this 3 points. Okay, this virus replicate mostly in the cytoplasm. Variola virus encodes and carries all these proteins necessary for the mRNA synthesis. This virus generally resides or assembled in inclusion body that I have mentioned before, because this virus can cause this as a use it as a outer membrane. There are certain symptoms that has been observed at time. It requires medical diagnosis. In addition to flu-like symptoms, patients also experience a rash that appears first on their face, hands, and forearms, etc. People who are contaminated or infected with the disease, that they show some pains, that is muscle pains and all in the skin. There will be some blisters, some rashes, some scars, and small bumps, etc. that has been absorbed that time. The whole body, you can feel the fever, thrillingness, chills, etc. Also some common symptoms like vomiting and headache. Thank you so much. And if you like my instant notes that I am providing you, I'm trying to minimize the lectures that is present in the book, and I'm trying to gather all the short points to reach to you. If you like my channel and you want me to create such videos for you, kindly comment in my section what you exactly need, and don't forget to like my channel and give a thumbs up. Thank you on behalf of Instant Microbiology and Biotechnology.